Alright, so I wanted to talk about another one of these weird letters, and this is a letter that you won't really see a lot. Um, but when you do see it, I don't want you to freak out. Um, like when you see it at the beginning of the word of a word in a sentence. I know the first feeling is to stop and ask somebody for help, and that's fine. That's what teachers are here for. But I just want you to know that these words are out there, and how to pronounce them or try to pronounce them yourself if you can. So, we are, of course, talking about the X. Now, X usually doesn't come at the beginning of the word, such as b, a, x, z. So X usually comes at the end of a word, and it makes kind of like a Z sound. But here are a few examples of words where X comes at the beginning of the word, and it also makes a Z sound. It makes a z sound. So here's one word that I found: Zebek. Zebek. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Zebek. Zebek. Now I didn't do the Google pronunciation of this where it has the speaker and it tells you how to pronounce it, but I think this is pronounced Xena. Xena. And not only do I have a cousin named Xena, she doesn't spell it like that, but in this case, Xena is a town in Ohio. Xenic. Xenic. Xenon. Xenon. Now, for the people that know chemistry, or for the people that like science, like I do, you might know, or you might not know. You'll cover this in middle school more, but xenon is an element. Xenon. Xenon. So the O makes the E long, so it says xenon. That's how I'm guessing the pronunciations of these other words. Z back. The E makes this E long. Xena. The I makes this E long. Xenic. This I makes this E long. Xenon. This O makes this E long. Now, this last word might actually be familiar to some people. Let's see if you can see it. So, I Googled this word. I know about this word, but I didn't know exactly how to spell it. Luckily, it's kind of spelled the way it sounds. So, phone. You see the O makes the Y make an I sound. Xylophone. 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 And I'm sure in music with Miss Seymour you played a xylophone. And that's really probably the most common word that starts with X that you probably know. Now, here's another word that starts with X that you may not know. In fact, I know that everyone watching these videos hopefully is too young to remember this. But your parents might, or they might not, I don't know. I grew up without cable, so I forgot what what channel this show came on, but the way this is pronounced, Shusha. Shusha. And it was a kids' TV show that didn't run for very long, I don't think. It started in 1993, and I think that maybe that was the only year that it ran was 1993. But I did watch the show. I forgot what it was even about, but I do know that we had a dog that we named Shusha. Going with the Z pronunciation, Zusha, Zuza, I guess. But the X kind of takes different pronunciations. So in this case, it says Shusha. So these words are very difficult to pronounce. They're probably you're hardly ever going to see words that begin with X. But when you do, if you do, I just don't want you to get overwhelmed and don't want you to not know what to do. Because there's always a pronunciation, and if you can't pronounce it, then you can go to Google, type it in, and usually you can get that little not microphone, but little speaker that you click on, and Google will pronounce it for you. And that's the technology age that we're in nowadays. So just keep in mind, like we saw with the letter Q yesterday, that there are unusual letters out there, such as the letter X, when it doesn't come at the end of the word and you're not familiar with it. Stop, think. If you still can't pronounce it, ask. If you don't have that option to ask, then I would either Google it, or if you don't have Google at your disposal right then, I would skip it. That's how you get your reading fluency up. You don't want to get stuck on a word that you have no idea how to pronounce. So anyway, keep practicing. Don't worry too much about the X at the beginning of the words, because there's a very slim chance that you'll actually see the X at the beginning of the word. But if you do, I just want you to be prepared. Life always throws you those little curveballs and does weird things sometimes. So be prepared. Know it's out there. Know what to do if you see it. And stay safe. Keep learning. Keep watching videos. And I'll see you soon.